So at this time, what I'd like to do is, we're going to go pass the microphone around, and we want you to do self-introductions. And we'd like for you to just, this is not like a 2-hour time frame for you to talk. This is really quick. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to pass it to Anthony so that you'll get 2 of us right away so you know what to say. But simply your name and your company name. I'm Bobby Spiegel with the Corona Chamber of Commerce.
Anthony Maldonado with the Corona Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Alvin Ayusa with Just for Kids Preschool.
Good morning, Saragoza, City of Corona.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Michael Usler. I'm with DrSpecScan.org for brain function imaging as well as for Proctor Gallagher for mind training.
Thank you, Doctor.
Good morning, I'm Debbie George with the nonprofit EASE T1D, Type 1 Diabetes Awareness.
And you'd like to get donations today for, right?
That would be amazing.
Perfect.
We're a very small nonprofit, so that would be amazing. We're
Excellent.
trying to bring awareness and education on the autoimmune disease Type 1 diabetes. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Debbie.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Vagasha from M-Care Pharmacy.
Good morning, we're Jim and April Van Newkirk from Skytone Pickups.
Good morning, my name is Joe Diaz with Primerica Financial Services.
Samantha Jacobson, The Balance Theory.
Alexandra Hernandez, ANS Residential Solutions, Valley Trash. I know.
Robert Yanes, Corona Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, I'm Buzz Brown, retired, but serving as a volunteer pastor at Bedford Community Church.
Good morning, Sam Albright with the Corona Norco Family YMCA.
Good morning, I'm Christy with DFI Insurance, celebrating 40 years in business.
Wow. Congratulations. Good morning, Paul Binta Badesha, Express Employment Professionals and the Chamber Board. Oh, wait. Thank you.
Good morning, Joe Ciancio. I'm retired and I'm a volunteer, many different organizations. Right now with Small Claims Court, I'm a mediator in Small Claims Court.
Good morning, I'm Neil Sarver, a mediator with SCORE.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christine from Team Heart Senior Care.
Well, you guys did it. That's awesome. Congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. So part of our job here is to network. So maybe you heard something from someone today that you say, oh, I need that product, or I'm interested in that service. Or perhaps you can provide them with a service or a product that you have. So after we're done today, please feel free to kind of network around and visit. This is your house here. This is our chamber is your home, and we just welcome you to be here and be involved. And just want to do some housekeeping rules. If you need to use the restrooms, they're out this door on the left-hand side. And if by chance there's any kind of evacuation that needs to take place, the exit is that way there. This one is, I just realized I blocked it, so. Boy, I know the fire department's gonna come now. So, you know, we want to be social. Pull out your smartphones right now. There's 2 things that I'd like you to do hashtags on. Hashtag Corona Chamber and hashtag Corona Rocks. And so if you would put those on, and anytime you take photos and any promotions that you do of this event or any future with the Corona Chamber, if you could do those, that would be great. As I shared with you earlier, in front of you, you've got 2 different publications. The Corona the Guide, that is an annual booklet. It talks about a lot of different things. There's stories about the manufacturing arena, about the future of where we're headed as Corona, potentially the cannabis industry, of what is going to take place in the next 30 to 60 days, and a lot of good information in that booklet. And then we also have our January, February issue of Corona Business News, and that comes out every 2 months. The March issue, March-April issue is being finalized today and will be at the printers this afternoon. But if you would like to see any, look at any advertising opportunities in there, Robert Yanez is here and Tammy Harwick is with the Chamber, and they are able to help you with that publication. This Friday we have our Good Morning Corona breakfast. Our keynote speaker is a gentleman that I call America's Sheriff. That is Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. I think a lot of people know about him. He is very, very set in making sure that that the county stays as safe as possible. We are one of the largest counties in the nation, and yet we are one of the safest counties, and that's because of his leadership. So if you are interested in coming to that event, that'll be up at Eagle Glen this Friday. The doors open at 6:30 in the morning, but we do need to get your reservation in today if at all possible, so that we can provide the food options and the different things that we need to do to prepare for that event. You can, for those that are on Facebook, you can go to bit.ly/GMCFeb 2022, and then you can register from that. We also have some new laws that are impacting every business. The seminar will be this Thursday. It will be virtual at 12 o'clock, and it's an employment attorney by the name of Usama Kaf, and he will be speaking on a variety of employment laws, such as the privacy law, the W-2s, the 1099 forms, remote work, vaccine requirements, and so much more. So you can learn more at the bit.ly/newlaws22. And if you do that, that is another service that is provided for free because of our partnership with the city of Corona. So we encourage you to plug into that. And then every Wednesday we have a call on Zoom, and it's our business briefing, and we'll be updating you. I know right now the legislators are trying to mandate vaccines for every job in California. And we are working on making sure that they understand our voice, and we want you all to be able to write in or to call your elected officials and voice your opinions to them. So every Wednesday, if you're interested, you can see Anthony or myself, and we'll be able to get you logged into that. And only a couple more things that I want to touch on is on March 27th, we have the Corona Night with the Angels, and it will be the Angels versus the Dodgers. It's a freeway series. Since the football season is over as of yesterday, right? Is everyone happy over yesterday? Everyone but Anthony is happy? Okay, well, anyway. So now we're going to get into the baseball season, and this will be a great opportunity. You can go right on to that bit.ly there, the Corona Angels Night 2022, and you can get your tickets there. Competitively priced, $35 on up, depending on what you select. So I talked about partnership earlier, and I always get excited to be able to introduce Ashley because she is such a fireball and such a great representative for the business community. Ashley works for the city of Corona. She is involved with their economic development. She's considered or titled Economic Development Administrator. She has so much information, a pulse on the community, the business community. And what I really enjoy about her is that when I make a call to her or a text or an email, it's an immediate response. It is someone that we need as a partner that can be out there, because as you have a business and you've got challenges, you need answers right away. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ashley Saragoza.
Thank you so much, Bobby, and good morning, everyone. As Bobby mentioned, my name is Ashley Saragoza, and I'm really excited about this partnership that we continue to have with the Corona Chamber of Commerce, the great connections, because you're the business community. This is how we get boots on the ground and making sure that we're connecting with you and letting you know what resources are there, ways that we can partner as a city and as a private entity. So we actually have some upcoming events between February and March I wanted to inform you about. So I mentioned this in the previous ones, but I see a lot of new faces. So right now we are revitalizing the downtown, which is Main and 6th Street, surrounded by Grand Boulevard. And we're in the visioning process right now to understand, what do you need from the city? What would you like to see there? Whether it's from a business perspective or even as a resident, understanding what it is, that sense of destination. And so we're actually having a virtual meeting on February 24th. We've had some previous ones, but we realized that not every time can someone come in person, so this one's going to be via Zoom. You can RSVP on our Eventbrite link, and I can definitely share that information with the chamber. But it will be in the evening from 5 to 6:30 p.m., and this will be a great opportunity for you to engage with the city and let us know, what would you like to see? We want to hear your voice. We're also conducting surveys, so if you want to go on our website, thecoronacircle.com, this website is dedicated to this project and making sure that we're creating that thriving, vibrant destination. So if we could have a moment of your time to take the survey, get engaged, put some comments and whatnot, we definitely want to hear your feedback. Oh, I see a question. So it's on thecoronacircle.com. And for those joining too, that's our website.
And the date for that?
Yes, February 24th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Perfect. In addition, we're hosting a Live Work Corona webinar series. So Live Work Corona is an initiative that we started in order to help the workforce needs of local employers and also to connect our local job seekers. So our whole motto is live where you work where you live, go full circle in the Circle City. And so with that, we're trying to bridge those gaps to make sure that the workforce knows there are great opportunities here in the city of Corona, so we don't lose them to other areas, in addition so that your workforce needs are met. So this webinar series begins on the 22nd, and it's going to be about digital engagement. And what's great about this, it's going to be connecting either to job seekers or to employers based on the topic. So we can share that information as well. And also for those of you who are employers, we're asking employers to take the pledge to hire local. So there aren't any specific requirements as far as like quotas that you have to meet or whatnot, but we're creating a website that's going to be dedicated to highlighting those companies that are taking that commitment. Again, we as a city want to be part of this, we want you to be part of this, and for the community to know how supportive Corona employers are to hiring local. Finally, I'd also like to invite you, on March 8th, we're hosting a commercial leasing webinar. So this is going to be in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. We have several other partners, CMTC, AMPAC, and this is all part of our manufacturing assistance program, which was developed to assist manufacturers. However, this is a topic that really can connect with any type of employer. So those who aren't familiar with commercial leasing or really want to get a better understanding of how to lease to own or how to really go through the process, we really want to make sure you're given that information. So it's going to begin at 9 o'clock a.m. It's from 9 to 10:30, and again, that's going to be a webinar. Thank you so much for your time today. We're excited to hear about the speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashley. Great job, Ashley. Thank you. I love how the city and the chamber work so close together, and this year's chairman is Paul Bender-Badisha, and her theme is right here, creating jobs and building a stronger community. And the creating jobs and you know, shopping local, buying local, hiring local, it all fits together, and it's going to be a great partnership with the city once again, and so we're really excited about that. So today I'm very excited to be able to share and introduce a gentleman, Alvin, who actually, this is not his first location here. He's got 2 other locations, and he's written a book, and he's going to share a little bit of how he obtained the Corona location. I asked him a couple of questions earlier if he's looking to franchise. He's going to go into that discussion and his views of that process. But they acquired the business in 2018 and since strive to provide their students the best possible future. Him and his wife, as I mentioned, Joy, is unable to physically be here. She may be on Zoom. She's on Zoom. Hi, Joy. But Alvin will be sharing on behalf of both of them. They have an incredible story filled with family, togetherness, and love, not only for the business, but for the community. This is the perfect Valentine's Day. Please help me welcome Alvin.
Thank you, Bob. Hi to my wife. She's online right now. Good morning, everyone. And first, thank you so much for the invitation, Bob and Anthony, the chamber specifically, Robert, who I met when we did the ribbon cutting. Thank you so much for this opportunity for us to share our stories. And I thought I'll be able to save a lot for Valentine's Day because this should have been my date with my wife, with you. But unfortunately, on Friday, our nanny called up and told us, oh, we won't be there. I won't be there on Monday. So my wife told me I had to do this all by myself today. All right. So my, I probably, how I would actually envision my talk to you today is sharing our life journey, being a first-generation immigrant in our family here in the U.S. and on how we've been blessed by the community and by this country, such that we want to be able to give back, which born our babies, our Just for Kids preschools. That's probably a summary of how I would bring you to this journey of this speaking engagement today. So, like what I said, I am a first generation immigrant to the U.S. from the Philippines in my family. My first morning in the United States, that was the first breakfast where I never knew anyone since Adam. And I came here on May 5th, 2015. And on that morning of May 6th, I had that breakfast because my mom just called a friend of hers and asked them that I stay with them for a while until I get settled with my work. So on that first morning, I saw a bunch of people and I didn't know them at all. Not a single soul. And my first bedroom in the US is a couch in their living room. So that's how I started in the US. Frankly, I went here in 2012 and I just visited a few friends, and I was hoping that I would love it, I would like it, such that I would find a way on how I can legalize myself and be here forever and bring my family here. Unfortunately, in 2012, I don't like it here. It's too fast. The life is too fast. I want to be able to go back, more mellowed. I have my family there. My entire roots is there. So I went back home. And then in 2015, who knows of AOL, America Online? So you probably still own that. That's the old, that's the old internet service provider of the U.S. I think. So their first outsourced company for their customer service is in the Philippines. And I happen to have been one of the pioneers or one of the first employees who built that customer support center. Long story short, around 2014-ish, I got an offer from one of the vendors of America Online, of AOL, to come here in the US, be sponsored, and be legalized. So going back to my 2012, like I was asking myself whether I'm ready for this because I went here already. I kind of knew the life. Although the beauty of it is that a work is waiting for me. So long story short, I jumped the gun and I agreed and got petitioned here for a working visa. It so happened during that time that my wife, we had a business in the Philippines and it was struggling and we were never able to make it really grow. So we had some financial challenges that we also needed to cover back then. I had my first son, I had my first child then, my son, Julian. I have three kids, by the way, and they're in, I have a 19, I have a 9, and I have a 1-year-old. And I'll tell you the story why they're all that separated, why that gap. So in 2015, I left my wife and my son in the Philippines. But after a few months, my wife also accepted a job in Dubai in order for us to be able to cover all the financial challenges we left for the business that we closed in the Philippines. So imagine the challenge during that first year of in 2015, 2016. Even up to 2017, my wife would be in Dubai, I would be here in the US, my son is in the Philippines with my parents, coordinating that 3 time zone challenge of being able to communicate together. Challenging was probably an understatement. And during that time, there's no FaceTime. There is no, there is not much of a technology that I can easily see them face to face. And we would only rely on those call cards that are darn expensive. And you had to like write all the things that you need to tell the other person so you would be able to maximize everything. And the Yahoo Messenger, that's all we had back then. And during that time, sure, I'm being petitioned, I have a work here in the US, but when you're petitioned, when you're sponsored in a working visa, unfortunately, you don't get all the right benefits and salary of a regular employee. You are paid minimum wage because you're under quote unquote mercy that they're sponsoring you and you're going through a petition. So I had to make both ends meet as well because I'm supporting a child back in the Philippines, and like what I said, we're also still trying to cover the financial challenges that we left with the first business that we had in the US. So it was a struggle, a really big struggle. And by the way, because I'm on a working visa, I cannot go home unless I am already a green card holder, because my papers are being processed. I'm in the process, quote unquote, like quote unquote, it's in limbo right now. I can't go home yet because that would affect my petition, my sponsorship. So the first 5 years, I never saw my wife and my son and be able to hug them because it's just, I just can't make it work. So it was really a sacrifice. The good thing, 2017, I told my wife, this is difficult for our son, that not even one parent is with him. So I asked my wife, probably it's better that you go home already. So in 2018, she went home and I told her, don't come back, don't go back to your contract anymore. I think I'm fine here, I'll be able to support you guys. But during that time, because I'll be the sole income earner, let alone covering the financial challenges, I worked 3 jobs, literally 3 jobs. Like when I leave my apartment, I'll be bringing a big lunchbox with me because I have my breakfast, I have my lunch, and I have my dinner there. Because I have 3 jobs, I would only have 1 day off, and that day off is meant for me to do my laundry, and at least to be able to buy all my 1 week of meal, because there's no time for me to cook, let alone be able to like socialize and go. That ran probably for 2018, 2019, up to 2015. I think I got all my dates wrong. So it was actually in 2002 that I went here. Sorry, not 2012. It was 2002, and then I got petitioned here in 2005. I'm so sorry. I got all mixed up. So from 2005, 2006, 2007, that was when I was in. We were all in 3 time zones: my wife, my son, and myself. And then around 2008. That was when that was when I was working on 3 jobs, and I told my wife, yeah, you don't go back to your contract in Dubai. I'll get it settled here, right? And I bounced from different odd jobs. The jobs that I've been working, because I'm being petitioned, I cannot really work like I was working under the table with the 2 jobs that I was working. And I had to work in a hotel as a front desk that I didn't even know what industry that is. I work for a company who sells rugs in front of Sam's Club and Costco, Persian rugs. Someone would approach you, what's a Persian rug and what's not? I don't even know what's a Persian rug, and I'll just have to sell it to them because that's how I would make my commission. I worked in an Asian restaurant where I was scaling out fish. So a lot of different odd jobs just to make both ends meet. But you know, one thing that I'm actually very thankful for is the experience of being able to go through that. Because of going through that, and I'll tie it later on how it impacts me from being able to like run a company right now, you value more what you have right now. You value more on what you can give to other people, what you can give back to the community. It took me about around 7-8 years before I was able to like finish all that sponsorship petition and be able to now get a decent job, like really get a decent job that I can work, that I can live with the pay that I should be getting. I'm a bachelor's graduate in the Philippines, and I want to be able to like really work in a better company. So after 7 to 8 years, I finally landed a job that would make both ends meet. I don't need to do 2 jobs or 3 jobs anymore. I'm able to support my family already. In fact, during that time, I could already have petitioned my wife and my son and bring them here. On the 6th year, it was the first time that I was able to go home and see them. And from then on, I told every employer that I would have here in the US, I will always tell them that I don't take any vacation. I only take vacation during the Christmas, and you need to send me home to the Philippines. You need to allow me to take vacation for 3 weeks straight. That's the only time I really see them. And all my employers are really very nice from then on, and that's the only time that I really see them, during Christmas season. So I would stay there first week of December, and I'll come back here after New Year. Once a year I see them, and that ran for 10 years actually, up to 2015. That is why the first gap of my son and my middle child is 10 years. Because it took us 10 years before I was able to bring them here. Now, fast forward, I am now here in the US. I brought them here on April 5th, 2015. It was an Easter Sunday. And I was so excited to show them around. Honestly, when we got into LAX, because my daughter, because I was able to like get out of the LAX faster because I'm already an immigrant and their papers are being processed. So there's a few minutes gap that I was able to get out of the waiting area of LAX International Airport. And when I saw them coming out, I was like hugging them. They thought I was actually picking them up. They didn't realize that we're all coming here. We're all just hugging each other because we're all here already. And each time I would remember that, I'm still choking up because it's 10 years that we were able to bear that sacrifice of being able to get them here. So now that we're here, I was lucky that I was able to prepare them to coming here. I saved so that I would be able to buy a house before they come here, so that they don't have to experience what I experienced living in an apartment, living in from different house to the other, just so you can save money. So I was able to buy a house. They came here and we already had our own house. It was a regular family for us. My wife is a homemaker with the 2 kids, and I would be working an 8 to 5 job, a good job, a really decent job during that time. And I told my wife, since you're taking care of our daughter, who then was turning 2 years old, why don't you have our living room convert to a family daycare, so that you can take care of our child and at the same time make some money on the side so we can be better off. And my wife didn't like the idea simply because, well, once you open that living room to a daycare, you just lose your privacy. Everyone can be there, and if we want to go on a vacation, go somewhere else, and it's a weekday, someone would have to like be in the house. Long story short, we shelved that idea. I said, okay, I'll strive harder so we can save more money and be able to afford what we can and what we want for our children. Like what I said, usual, we would only, we are a regular family. We are parents who are wanting to save more for our children. Now, and I'm trying to, hang on a second. Bear with me, I'm trying to transfer my page right now. All right. During 2019, that was the time when I started climbing the corporate ladder. I'm starting to enjoy myself here in the US because I really have a really good job. My bachelor's is in philosophy. Fun fact about me, I almost ended up being a Catholic priest. I stayed in the seminary for 9 years, and then I found my wife, so I went out. I didn't become a priest. That's a fun fact. My bachelor's is in philosophy, but I always got sidetracked. I always got involved and fell in love with technology. So I bounced back from different industries, from education to healthcare, but all in technology. And then I also worked for a technology company, an analytics company, and I would always be pushed into operations, general operations. Then I got moved to sales and marketing operations. After sales and marketing operations, I got pushed to systems and processes. And that's where I got, I would say, like boxed, but I enjoyed it. I'm loving it. During those times where I was working in those hotels as front desk clerk with those odd jobs, because I work in the night shift and no one is coming into that hotel during the night shift, so I would do my own reading. I would do my own classes, there wasn't any online classes back then. You just all had to Google everything. And that's how I actually was able to hone myself and package myself as a technology person. And I got hired by this company called Alteryx. And Alteryx is an analytics company. During that time, when I got hired by them, I was employee number 26, I think. And I left them in 2018. We were already around close to 1,000 employees when I left them. So I started with them as a startup company, and then I helped them grow up with their systems and processes, in particular in sales and marketing operations. I helped them grow up their CRM, their customer relationship management systems and process. In 2008, in 2017, we went public. They went on IPO. And I was very fortunate, very blessed, that I joined them at the right time 7 years ago before they went on IPO, because I was able to join in their stock options, and just the experience of being able to see a startup company going through a public company. It was a great experience for me. On my 7th year with them, in 2018, I got laid off. And to be honest, during that time, I didn't want to leave them yet, because I'm really enjoying it. I'm really loving my team. I've built so much already that I feel that I'm leaving a legacy that is not yet finished. But I got laid off. That was February 6th of 2018. I won't forget that. I won't forget that date, because the first thing I did, I really felt sad. And my team, I really felt sad for my team because I was not able to prepare them. Of course, no one probably knows or prepared for their layoff, but have I known I could have prepared them better, so I'm leaving them at a better place. But I'm sad in particular because, like what I said, I feel that I'm leaving a legacy that I haven't solidified yet. But I'm happy at the same time because I've already proven myself. From a startup company, helped them to become a bigger company, to go on IPO. To me, that's already a big blessing. That's already a big experience. That was on February 6th. That was around 10 a.m. I didn't go home yet. I went to the church in Garden Grove. I'm a Catholic, so I went to the Christ Cathedral in Garden Grove. And I just sat there and I told God that I won't question what your plan is for me. There is a better plan that I think you want for me, and I will take it. I cried that day, that moment that I was in the church. Just crying and pour it all out. Because I didn't want to bring that home to my wife, who during that time was going through a breast cancer chemotherapy. And I'm losing my job. Good thing, my employer, because I stayed with them for 7 years, they gave me 6 more months of covering my Cobra. So still, right? I mean, it's still a big blessing that I don't have to worry about that, so that my wife would continue, would be able to continue the chemotherapy. And I cried all my heart out in that church because I didn't want to bring that home to my wife and still paint that picture with my wife. I'm pretty sure my wife knew that I am hurting inside, but I still don't want to show that, so I can put a brave face and be able to like just worry about yourself right now and be stronger, be healthier. That's all I wanted to picture for her. Long story short, before the 6th month where the Cobra would finish, or the Cobra that my former employer is covering would finish, on the 3rd month, I was already able to find a full-time job. And by the way, before I jumped to that full-time job, in that prayer, in that moment where I was in that church, I told God of 3 things. I only asked for 3 things. I told him, I'll accept everything. I ask of you 3 things. And I have a very strong, how would I call this? Devotion to Saint Joseph, the husband of Mary, who is Saint Joseph, the patron of worker, and the patrons of husbands. So I have a really good devotion to him. I prayed 3 things. These are the 3 things that I prayed during that moment I was in that church. That when I find a job or my next opportunity, I'll be able to spend more time with my family, I'll be able to serve more in the church, and I'll be able to give back more to the community. Those are the 3 things that I prayed. I told God I won't question you, but all I'm asking from you are these 3 things. Serve more the community, give back more to the community, have more time with my family, and serve more the church. Guess on the 3rd month where my job was, my next opportunity. It was in Playa Vista, near LAX Airport. That's an hour and 45 minutes from Orange County. And I thought, God, I don't know where I got mixed up with my prayers to you. Like, hour and 45 minutes just to drive, and then coming back, I won't have more time with my family. I won't be able to serve your church. I won't be able to give back to the community. I don't have any more time. I'll just be in the freaking freeway. I'm serious. I'm half-hearted getting that job, but I'm also worried because on the 6th month, my Cobra would run out. So I had to take it. But at the back of my mind, I talked to my wife, just even before I was able to get that, job. I told my wife, I feel that I did a good run with Aldrich, with that company that I stayed with for almost 8 years. That I feel that I want to be able to have another opportunity of putting up a business. And we don't know what business. I just want to be able to give back to the community because, like what I said, we went on IPO. I feel blessed that I was able to have those stock options with them and all that. So I wasn't really that worried. Financially, we were okay. But I don't want to go again with a startup because that's another uphill battle. But I took the job simply because I'm worried about the Cobra and I really don't know yet what business I would want for us. I have an idea, but my heart is still half-hearted. So, because it's too far, right? It's in Playa Vista. I thought that I would be reporting to work at 8 a.m. I didn't realize that they sent me an email telling me that I should just be reporting to work at 11 a.m. because the person who would do my orientation won't be coming in until 10:30. I didn't read that email. I left the house at 6:30 in the morning because I know I have to be there by 8 or 9. And when I got there, I'm nobody. I don't have my badge yet. They won't let me in. So what would I do? I was at the parking lot, and I happened to call my friend who is in Las Vegas, and he has a preschool in Las Vegas. And because I had that 2 hours of being able to talk to him, that's when I solidified in myself, I want to have this preschool business. I want to have my own preschool. With those first 2 hours, and I haven't started my job yet, my first day with my job. But at the back of my mind and in my heart, I want to do that same business. So long story short, I went to, he told me of a website where I could find all the schools or the businesses that they're selling, BizBuySell, BizBend. So I went there and I found a school in Hesperia. And I don't know where freaking Hesperia is. I've lived in Orange County for 10 plus years during that time, or 8 plus years during that time, and I didn't know where Hesperia is. But I told my wife, let's still look at it. I don't know where it is. It's 75 miles away from us. I told my wife, I'll call the broker. We arranged a tour. We would pretend that we are parents to tour that school. And we timed it in May on our way to Memorial Day weekend, on our way to Vegas, so I can talk more to my friend and be able to see his preschool. So we timed that, going there. On our way to Las Vegas, we dropped by the preschool. We fell in love with the preschool. And we told ourselves just before we came back to the parking lot heading to Vegas, we want to buy this school. We would really want to buy this school. So we made an offer, and we were able to close that escrow on October 1st of 2018. And I left my job. I left the job in Playa Vista. And guess where this actually brings me? To those 3 prayers. Because I now have more time with my family, because this is a business. I own my time. I now would be able to have more time giving back my time to the church as well, because I own my time. And I would be able to give back to the community because of this preschool. Because this is, why preschool? Because I really believe that if we do it right with this business, we are bringing up children, forming the young minds of children, who would be our next people who would be sitting in here, who would be leading the next community, who would be leading the next businesses that we have. So if we do it right, this is how I'd be able to give back to the community and to this country, who has been very, very generous to me and my family. So I'll just be bringing you back to those 3. That's why I mentioned those 3 prayers that I told you. When we owned that preschool, I never knew anything about preschool. Zero. Nothing. I didn't know that there is a community care licensing that's in charge of you, who would be looking at your at every step of the way. I didn't know about teacher-student ratio, that you have to maintain a 1:12 ratio. I didn't know that you cannot just hire anyone who wants to take care of children. They have to have 12 early education childhood units. I didn't know anything. I only knew one thing. Those 3 prayers, and second, I want to be able to go give back to the community and make this right. That's all I had. And I put everything in here. My 401k, the savings that I had with my stock options, everything. I'm all in. With my SBA loan, my house is collateralized. So I have to make it work. You know what? The first 3 months, 6 months, I was so very much dependent with the employees who are already there. And luckily, they're really nice employees. No challenges with embezzlement, because I'm 75 miles away from them. So I would come I can't come every day. So I would come like thrice a week. But they're very honest people. And I think what I found in this industry is it's filled with heart. Because they're teachers. They're taking care of children. They're very honest people. They're very caring people. They're very soft-spoken people. That's why I really fell in love more when I already owned the school. But I cannot rely on them for the life of like growing the school. Why? Because they only know what they know. And they've been there for like 12 years, 19 years, 18 years. The school has been in existence for 21 years before I purchased it. So a lot of them, they've been there already for a long time. And they haven't been exposed to other preschools as well, so they cannot really guide me on how I can actually make this grow. What did I do? I went to Google and I told my wife, there must be something that would help us on how we can actually run this center better. Not that we're running it badly, but we want to be able to grow it. We want to be able to like make it 2 schools, 3 schools. And during that time, my goal is for us to have 5 schools in 5 years. So I joined the Child Care Success Academy. I found them on YouTube. I followed this lady who's running that company, and this is the company, Child Care Success Academy. So they're like child care owner whisperers. It's a mastermind group. It's a mastermind group of different preschool owners who are as well struggling like me, and who are sharing best practices on how they can make better. To me, it was like going through a master's education in running a preschool crash course. Because in 3 months' time, we were able to do a lot of things. And one of those things is buy our second preschool right after, on the 3rd month or 4th month. So no. Just before we turned 1 year, on June 1st of 2019, we closed our second school, who is the sister school of the first school that we bought. It was a fast-track crash course. All right, so we were all humming along. I was part of the academy. We were ready to kick ass, to be honest with you. We were ready to get more schools. Then what happened? Pandemic hits. Just when we were eyeing for 100% full-time capacity, 100% capacity of all the children in those 2 preschools in Hesperia, we got hit by the pandemic. From 95% attendance rate, suddenly it was 120 capacity combined for the 2 preschools. 142 for the 2 preschools. From 142 attendance every day, we were down to like about less than 10 children on March 15. But you know what? I looked at it a different side, and because of the help of the academy as well, the Child Care Success Academy, we were able to turn things around pretty quick. We were able to offer. So everyone was just panicking. Everyone was just like seeing, this is killing our industry. A lot of my competitors are also having the same challenges. You know what we did? We initiated community empowerments. So we created video materials, our teachers speaking and letting them know, empowering the community, empowering the parents, empowering our competitors. We even implemented like a weekly goodwill, so to speak. So what we did is like one Friday of each of those weeks, I think it started in around May of 2020, we would buy pizza for our competitor and just bring it there with written note cards, and we tell them, we're all on this together. If you guys have anything that you want to bring up to us, like let us know, because we're all in this together. And some of our competitors are like rolling their eyes, like, what the heck are you guys doing in here? But you know what it did? It generated a social media presence, such that Just for Kids got known of like doing all this goodwill. And the PPP came in. Everyone knows about the PPP. We capitalized on that so that we can be kept afloat. What else? So we were also able to like maintain the 100% capacity, because subsidized children, the government committed that even if they're not attending, they would pay us. So we were able to keep afloat. And the big blessing for me, I never laid off any single employee the entire time. I never closed the school unless there was any exposure on those classrooms. So it was still a big blessing. Fast forward, I'll make it fast forward. Back in 2019, just when we were actually ramping up and want to buy more schools, because we were able to close our second school in June of 2019, 4th quarter of 2019, I found this school that's being offered to us in Corona. During that time, it's called the Learning Center, TLC for Kids. And I found out it was a divorce sale. So the owners are divorcing, that's why they're selling. That was October of 2019. Just a year when I purchased my first school. I made an offer. We went to escrow. Because it was a divorce sale, the bank was having a difficulty and a hard time getting documents from this couple. I told them I'm going home to the Philippines in December of 2019. I want to be able to close this end of November. I'm just giving you a very short escrow, 60 days, we close. It didn't materialize because we're having difficulty getting the documents from the couple. Even their broker is having a difficulty speaking with one of them. The wife won't just participate. So the the escrow that was supposed to close in November got pushed to end of January because I cannot close in December, I'll be in the Philippines. January, because it's already a new fiscal year, the bank needed a new set of documents because we just closed 2020. It was like pulling teeth again of being able to grab that from them. So we pushed it to end of February, the close of escrow. And then right before end of February, they were able to deliver those documents that the bank needed. But the bank said, well, you guys just delivered it 2 days before the close of escrow. We're evaluating it, right? So the bank said, we'll push this to end of March. That's when we would close, March of 2020, end of March 2020. Guess what happened in March 15? We shut down the state. The bank had to call me the following day, March 16. Bank had to call me. Do you really want to close this by end of the month? I asked them, do you have a way on how to decline me? Because I have my deposit in escrow already. So they had to decline me because of the pandemic. Because there's no guarantee right now how things would go. So I was able to back out of the escrow. September of 2020, I dreamt of this school. And someone in that dream was telling me, if someone offers it to you again, buy it. So I asked my broker, can you check on them? Later did I realize, before I even purchased them, I was supposed to be purchasing them, they were already on back payments on their lease. So they're getting evicted, and they were not able to survive the pandemic. So long story short, they got evicted, and we took over the building without purchasing anything. So we were able to save that money that should have gone to buying the school that never had any more enrollment there. It was just like buying the dilapidated furniture that's in there. So it was still a big blessing. Now, I'll go now to the school. Oh, by the way, where are we right now? For the first two schools, we are rocking and rolling in Hesperia. We have a very long wait list. We are 100% full, 100% capacity. We are joining the quality rating of the state so that we can have 5 stars to give like stamp of approval from the state that we are a legitimate preschool, that we're not just a daycare taking care of your children, but we are actually preparing them for the big school for kindergarten. In Corona, given the fact that there were a lot of headwinds from the time that we opened in June, when we got the ribbon on June, there was the Delta variant, there was the Great Resignation, and then the Omicron variant. We are at 60% capacity right now. So it's still a big blessing. After being open for 8 months, we are at 60%. And if had it not been for those headwinds of Delta variant, Omicron, the Great Resignation stuff from the employees, we are like close to full capacity right now. I won't be surprised that by this September, for the new school year, we would be at full 100% capacity in Corona. From 12 staff in Hesperia, we are now almost 40 staff across all the 3. And the one in Corona, that's 75% Corona locals. Only 25% are not, some are in Lake Elsinore, some in Isabel. And we provide full benefits for our staff. Because that's the first thing I put on my bucket list when I took over Hesperia. At one point, we have to provide full benefits for the staff. We have to give them health insurance. And some of my staff in Hesperia, they've been there for 19 years, they never had health insurance for the entire time they were there. And they were in tears when we rolled out full benefits package for them, life insurance, health insurance, dental, etc. And we're covering 75% of the premiums. So if anyone is watching right now, we're hiring in Corona, so you better hire, you better apply. And we are now committed of giving back more. How is that? We partnered with a nonprofit named ANCOP, Answering the Cry of the Poor, who are sending less fortunate children in Mexico and in the Philippines. So for every center location that we have, we are sending 10 scholars in the Philippines and in Mexico combined. Right now, we have around 30 scholars that Just for Kids Preschool is sending for those less fortunate. Now, going back to here, why did I and my wife put this book together? Because what we found out is that for all the clients that we're having, a lot of them, most of them, are first-time parents who would be leaving their children in preschools. They don't know what they're looking for, really. All they want is that take care of my children such a way that they're safe, such a way that they'll learn something, such a way that they'll be able to socialize. But they really don't know what they're looking for. So in order for us to be able to help them in looking for the right preschool, we created this book. It's called Choosing a Child Care Center, the Essential Guide to Finding the Best Fit for Your Family. And it has all the ingredients, so to speak, of what a parent should be looking for in a preschool when they're touring, when they're making those tours, so that they can ask the right questions. There are questionnaires here too. So we just compiled all what all those parents are asking for. And each of you would be getting one of each. So if you don't need it, because you don't have any preschooler, give it to a friend, give it to a relative, give it to someone, especially if they're in Corona or in Hesperia, so that they would know of our brand, that we are dead serious in this. This is a mission. Our mission is to illuminate young minds for a brighter tomorrow, and to provide opportunities for our staff and empower them in the early childhood education. That's our mission. It's not just for us to provide care for children. And please pray for this industry, because there's a lot of headwinds that we're facing as an industry right now. We heard about universal pre-K. I still don't know how the state would implement that. Would the private preschools would be put out on the side? Would it be a mixed delivery system? And guess what? When there are these challenges, it's not really the industry that just impacted the children that we care for. Because of the pandemic, 30% just in California alone, 30% shut their doors down in this industry. So there's a lot of supply. There's a lot of demand, but the supply is very, very, very small right now. That's why we're all experiencing these challenges. When we cannot leave children in the right spot or in the right preschool, guess where parents would be? They won't be able to work. And a lot of this, unfortunately, the minorities and the women are the ones who are impacted, the wives, because they're the ones left at home to take care of the children. And they cannot go back to the workforce. It's a ripple effect. That's when we actually realize that, oh, dang it, like we are an essential industry. That's when we realized during the pandemic, that's when the country realized, oh wow, childcare is an essential industry. So, on that note, I thank you so much for hearing our story, and I hope that you can share this book. I'll be giving each one a book. Share it to a relative, to a friend. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
We have time for some questions, so you'll just hold that, and if you'll repeat the questions so the people on Facebook can hear. Doctor?
In dealing with children, there's a fairly high incidence of autism and various developmental disorders or what have you. How does that impact, or how do you deal with that?
So the question is, in this particular industry, there's a lot of challenges with autism and special needs children. How do we deal with that? So there are specialized preschools that are meant to take care of special needs children. And how we actually differentiate or delineate ourselves if we would be able to take care of this child or not, especially if they have special needs, is would it impact us in ratio? That's such a way that this child would need to have a 1-to-1 ratio, like a teacher to the student, versus when the teacher would have to work with 1:12. If the answer is yes, this child needs to have a 1-on-1, then we refer them to we refer them to community care licensing because they have a referral program, or to the child care referral agencies where they can be referred to a particular school who can give that one-on-one care for those children. And for those children who we can actually take in, even some of them, they have only mild needs, so they could still be in ratio. They could still be with children with one teacher. We let the occupational therapists, we let their therapists come in to do their sessions while they're in care with us. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great work.
Another question? Yes, sir. Joe?
Oh, yes, a comment, a very, very good talk.
Oh, thank you.
Well, repeat that so everyone on Facebook knows what.
He said that it's a very good talk.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know if you've ever been to the United Nations in New York City. They have a saying in the lobby that's very focused on children. It says, one child, one book, one pen, and one teacher can save the world. Very good saying. My question is, homeless families, Corona around.
Yes.
Where your facilities. Do you have any program for that homeless child that is in that situation?
So the question is, there's prevalence of homelessness in our community, specifically in Corona. Do we have programs for homeless children? We have programs for what is being referred to us by the Child Care Resource affiliate. So we cannot take them, our school cannot go directly to these children and take them in unless their parents are taking them to us. So what we do is we offer discount rates for those that are below the poverty line. And there are also some children that we care, specifically in Hesperia. I believe we have a few children that are in foster care, foster families, that we are also taking in. To be honest, my director in Hesperia, when the state locked down, that was her first concern. What would happen to the children that are in foster care? Actually, the bigger challenge is what would happen to those children who are in an abused family, because now they're not getting the right care when they're being taken to us because they just shut down. So the short answer is we don't directly have a program. I'll bring this up in our community care licensing or in our child care resource networks on what they do for homeless children so that they can be provided the right care in the right environment, such as preschool. But if they would be offered to us, like the family would be coming to us or the parents would be coming to us and they're offering it to us, for as long as we can take them to this referral agency and a subsidizing agency would be taking care of their tuition, we would be providing care to those people.
Let's give a round of applause to Alvin. What a tremendous job. Stay up here though. Paul Bitter, I'd like you to come up too. And then I just want to touch on a couple of things that resonated with me. Alvin talked about the association best practices. I think every industry has that network out there. And if not, come see either Robert or Tammy or myself here at the Chamber. Maybe we can get that network for you on your own business groups to be able to do that. And I love how you share with the other somewhat competitors to make it a better place. And his heart is in the right place. And when you said that your goal wasn't so crystallized with God when you first ended up going down to, was it Playa
Vista?
Yeah. I just had to laugh because I've often prayed for different things, but I wasn't crystal clear on things. So things came to me a little differently, but I'll share with you individually on that. But you are such a blessing, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being part of our chamber, our business community, and what you do with the children. I'm going to let Paul Binder share something real quick.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you so much on behalf of the Chamber and all the business community for your inspirational story. you have the most demanding customer that the human race has ever created, right? Little people. And so the fact that you can deal with that when some of us have barely been able to deal with two is amazing. I also would love, through my business, to promote your services, because one of the critical things, as you mentioned, holding back people being able to get a job is the lack of childcare.
Yes.
There's a huge shortage
Yes.
locally.
Yes.
And so the fact that you're doing that and not only creating jobs in your childcare facilities, but also enabling parents to get jobs and keep jobs is huge. Thank you so much. So on behalf of the Chamber, I would love to present you with our challenge coin. The Chamber's challenging, but a challenge coin. Creating jobs and building a stronger community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And in less than a year, I have two challenge coins from the Chamber now. Because we just opened, when we cut the ribbon, they also gave me this, the other challenge coin.
The other one from
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe it's like, what's it, vision?
Creating
vision, yeah.
Yes, yes. Awesome. So those challenge coins, each year we have a different chair for our board, and they pick a theme. A couple of years ago in 2019, my incoming chair for 2020 was Don Williamson, and he picked Make History. Little did we know that the town of Corona would be known throughout the world in 2020 with the name of Corona when they named that virus the coronavirus. But we're going to show them, we're going to show the world, my goal is within the next 3 years, people are going to talk about the coronavirus, but they're going to talk about us as a community and the virus of sharing love and appreciation for one another, doing exactly what Alvin and Joy do on a regular basis, impacting the lives of the young people and working with competitors and working with fellow citizens and other individuals that we can help rise their hopes, and that's going to be the coronavirus, and that's what we're going to be known for. Next month, we have another entrepreneur that will be here. We encourage you to register early. If you do want to come this Friday to our Good Morning Corona breakfast, we have about 150 people registered right now. Bring lots of business cards. If you're questioning or wondering about that, see Robert. He's in the room right now. He'd be able to help you get registered for that. On behalf of the Chamber and the city, Ashley, thank you for being here. Thank each and every one of you for being here. If you heard someone that you want to network with or share some ideas, now's the time to do that. On behalf of the Chamber, God bless you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.